the effect. So if Trayvon Martin gets killed, that's an effect. If a cop beats another motherfucker's ass, that's an effect. If niggas ain't got no economy, that's an effect. If Trump do this, that's an effect. That's not a cause. So we're moving on. We're reactionary niggas. No matter how deep we say Hotep, we're having reactions. The occult is trying to say we want to control the cause. Right. Therefore, and the cause we understand to be invisible in its nature. Therefore, we must address it with what looks invisible to the earth, but very visible in the mind. You get what I'm saying? Very visible. So it looks like you're just doing this and that and this, but it's symbolic of where you're directing your fucking mind to deal with the invisible. So you got these, in my, well, let me not resort to name calling. You got guys who just don't understand the concept. And then, you know, they'll make that statement where your mind's on Saturn, your mind's on this, your mind's on that. And then in the next breath say, but we gods. Well, if we gods, didn't you make Saturn? And shouldn't your mind be on that shit as well? Or are you saying you can't keep your mind on both? Well, leave it to the advanced God who could. Because my shit is on this and is on that. And on this, I know this is done. And it's not like I'm really trying to go to Saturn to turn up neither. All that shit is done. We're trying to get beyond this realm. And even if you don't believe in that, you got to, there's, what else is working? What else is working? It's the same old shit. Niggas don't know what, complaining about they doing this, they doing that, and they making me wear a mask. No control.
Hey, Penny.
Yes.
What when I listen to lectures from the brother Bobby, old lectures with him and Clemson Brown, I mean, they put together some classic lectures.
Right.
You talked about how you mentioned Sirius and the importance of Sirius. And he talked about how Set is the oldest deity known to man, and how Set represented Soot, represented Sirius, representing the dragon constellation. And that when the dynastic Egyptians came around, they erased what was going on with the pre-dynastic, the Typhonian Egyptians. What I want to know is and they made Osiris the main deity. First it was Set, but the Set got turned evil by the dynastic priests, and then Osiris came the main deity. So now we Kemetic priests, we Kemetic scholars, and everything is Osiris, and Set is the bad guy. Because we don't know the pre-dynastic era. What beef why did the dynastic Egyptians have so much beef with Set in the pre-dynastic Egyptians? What was so bad about that teaching?
Excellent question, but you got to think of the mentality different.
Yes.
Like they were going deeper in the fall. This wasn't all of a sudden, we wasn't just chilling. White people came and then we were fucked up. We were on a long fall. Just landing here was the beginning of us declining. That's the nature of it. We have to, and Bobby also talked about this, we have to go to the putrid state, the dry bones, before there's a rise. So early on, we retain more of our ancient mind. As we went down, you had just that 1% like you have now who are conscious. So think of us, think of me and you right now, and we know that Run DMC is the truth. But in the South, you hear what music is popping right now. So how do we, as responsible priests, retain the old rap shit? So when the story is told, someone smart like Bobby, like Panic, could understand that Set is your friend beyond just the devil. See, because remember, it's not just that Bobby told that story. He also told you that Set was your friend. So this was encoded by the priest for a later day. So what I'm telling you, it was encoded by us, Bobby, myself, to come back later to reveal it because we were falling down. Even Dr. Africa told you they didn't start writing on shit till the 17th dynasty. That's when everybody started writing on shit because they knew they were going down. So what you had is fad trying to keep the shit fat out. You seen it in your lifetime. Moses was the man in the old Bible. He was the one that he took his people home. Then he gave it away to Yahshua. But they just made it this guy Joshua, but Yahshua is Jesus. They was calling Yahshua Jesus all through Passion of the Christ. So Moses gave way to Yahshua. So in other words, the Savior used to be Moses of the people. Then Christ became the Savior. And then after that, Muhammad became the Savior. And to the Muslims, Jesus is just another priest. So for something new to happen, they always overthrow the old guys. And if the priests are smart, they usually make the old guy the bad guy. So he has some role. Bobby used to always point out that even in Christianity, you only see the devil a couple of times, you know, even in that made up fiction. But Set was always standing with all the other deities. Now we know because it's not emotional. He's the bad guy. We don't like him. Why the fuck you gonna give him shine? It ain't about that. It's really more about them trying to tell you the necessary ingredient, the agitator, which represents that part of your consciousness, perhaps, that keeps saying, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That ain't right. And Set has, in the later day, has come to represent humanity. But before he was that troublemaker like Loki, you know what I'm saying? You could kind of say, and then that just turned into the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? You could actually see how Loki made all the movie plots move forward. And you can see where he's the bad guy. But you also see where he's a part of the fucking family, and you can't have a movie without Loki. You cannot do Star Wars without Darth Vader. So that's Set's real role. You can't do any of this. Osiris can't have a mythology without his brother killing him. And Horus can't have a rise. He can't be a hero without having this guy. So that's how we thought about it. We didn't think about it like, we don't like that nigga, so we're going to start shitting on him. It was more like we were showing the roles of it. And even though before, at an earlier time, they just used him to play that role because they try to retain some of that wisdom because it would just be forgotten and we would move on. For instance, I heard a girl in Japan the other day said rap started with, who did she say? I think she said Master P or some ridiculous shit. Master P, look in the movie Foolish. He said rap started with NWA. Get what I'm saying? So the priesthood knew we better, even if we have to make Run DMC the bad guys in this, we better say their names, otherwise they'll just be forgotten. You think Kid Rock invented the shit. You get what I'm saying? So that's the mentality. I think I hit that right.
No, facts. Definitely
did. All right.
Panic, one thing that we talked about in our conversation for the workshop was you talked about parallel universes or parallel worlds, Doctor Strange, Men in Black 3, and how you also talked about this nebula, about being a sleeping nebula. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yo, remember that?
Well, I know the channel. I know I was telling you.
Bro,
maybe today. I remember feeling I didn't hit it like I wanted to hit it. So I'm glad to get a second opportunity at the titles. Yes. Yeah.
So Panic. So check this out. So let's say we're dreaming this existence and we're dreaming possibilities, parallel universes, which we might call thoughts, which we eventually bring into this projection realm that we call reality.
Yes.
A person who got molested at, let's say, 6 years old, since they're asleep in nebula, did they really get molested?
Mm-mm.
Or did they, or was that just a projection of one possibility? And if they're 25, should they completely ignore that aspect of their childhood and should they just block it out, or should they accept it and say, when I was
they number one, just on regular advice, they definitely shouldn't ignore anything.
Okay.
They should definitely accept it and do whatever they need to do to release it. I mean, that's primarily what occult work is. After you get past the mind and what you're supposed to be doing, when you do that chakra work, you got to, that's the honesty thing I was telling you about.
Right.
You wouldn't be honest with yourself because you're moving down. This is, we already know this is an illusion. That's one of the ABCs that you learn in consciousness. Maya, the illusion. I'm sure there's a Shemrak, Nak, Nak, Rak, Na, Metaneta name for the same shit. But this ain't real. You know, you just, there's always somebody has a story that this ain't real. Khadijah said one time she was looking up and she seen how this shit was a computer fucking make. She was like 10 or 12 or whatever she said she was. She said she started crying. That's how profound it was. It was just a moment of her seeing through the veil, if you will. So you know this shit ain't real. But you can't tell nobody that who's thirsty. You cannot tell them that hungry. So the way you experience this, your mind is supposed to be convinced. Otherwise, why have it? You get what I'm saying? If you're like, I know I'm in my bed, ain't shit wrong, then when you have your dreams at night, you feel the emotion of the moment. That's the point. You're supposed to be experiencing this thing. So you are experiencing it in your mind, but it's not really happening. So how do you have the reference? Let's say you are this God, divine mind without a body. And that means all you are is a mind. And based upon what you know, it must be your power. Well, how would you know things? If Phil Valentine used to say it all the time. Well, man, you know how Phil flows. Well, man, beloved, comes in, and when he comes and then he flows, beloved. Like what Brother Phil used to talk about was how man didn't know how, or God didn't know how big or how small he was. So coming into a physical world allows him to, and they say that in Kabbalah too. When it's in Ketha, it doesn't know how big or small it is. So it becomes Bina to observe itself, then Hokmah to observe itself, observing itself, and all this old shit. But what the fuck was we talking about again? Yeah, that's when it's coming down. What the fuck was we just talking about again?
Well, we was talking about like say a parallel universes, worlds, right? Say a person got molested.
Okay, right. Okay,
their spiritual entity, they just want to block it out and say that really didn't happen to me.
Right. Okay, I remember. So
that's the right thing to do.
Right. No, absolutely not. Because and that's what I'm saying with you. So the whole idea of this all-knowing God coming down here is to put itself in a situation that it will never be in because it doesn't know how big or how small it is. So it has to come down to earth and can't swim, not the coolest, bow-legged, you know what I'm saying? Not the cutest, or maybe the cutest, and you got to live through that bullshit. But all of these things are ways to put yourself clearly to learn more, because therefore when you leave the body and have none, you're just mind. All you how could you have been raped if the body isn't real and that's not your body? How could your body have been violated if you don't have it anymore? So, or once you discard your body and you move on, is the rape over? Because the rape was a part of the body and you discarded it. So is the rape over? It happened here. And that's the only place it ever happened. And that's what you're bringing to understand some of the most, what we would call the most foulest things to our divine mind. From that perspective, we're just dealing with very dark thoughts, things that will never happen. And to us, for real, we would have to think it. What if Earth is just where you think it? And all these lives and personalities, different motherfuckers down here just getting their think on. Mm-hmm. And that's been said. It's not like me guessing. That's been said. That's what's happening. This is all the worlds at play. That's why we know the future, because it already happened. So we're just playing thoughts that have already been played out, actually. Accessing them. There's so many theories, but what is absolutely clear, and you can't get beyond know thyself, is nothing. You should hide nothing from yourself. Mm-hmm. You're here to deal with everything. Indeed. In fact, let's say something terrible happened like that, and you forgot it or blocked it. The true occult understanding is, why did you block it? It's really, that's what it's not about. White people. It's not about no fucking economy. It's all about knowledge. It's all about knowledge. And we're here for different things. We're here to get knowledge. Some of us can't leave here because they don't have enough yet. Some of us come to pick up, like myself, some recruits. And we look amongst those who Earth calls conscious at that moment. Mm-hmm. They would hear my words. And really, I'm just recruiting for my hood, pretty much. How do you know what it is? I tell you all the time. Do this, do that, meditate like this, eat like this, fuck that, nigga. If you wanted that, you like this, da-da-da-da. No tap, nigga. And if people feel that zone, they can actually merge with that energy later, learn more, because it doesn't stop there. So I don't think we're as wretched as, See, actually, what you're trying to get me to do is go into that channel. Let me just go ahead and do it. All right. So, okay. So it's been bothering me. I've been, because there's so many fucking possibilities, valid possibilities at what this shit could be. But it's been coming very hard, and a lot of answers have been coming since that Beetlejuice light has got here. And one of the things is, let me know the setup, nigga. We gonna get out there and there's a motherfucker. Yeah, motherfucker, let's finish this shit. Punch your ass back in the body. You like, yeah, all right, one more time, then nigga. Oh shit. You go through a whole other lifetime. All right, nigga. That left though, nah. You jokingly, but you want to know. So one of them nights, shit was coming through hard. And I know it's coming through. All right. It kind of showed me this. Now, I always give this kind of warning, I guess, or precursor. These are channels. These are not book facts. I don't really try to tell someone to convince them. This is not what it's about. The only person that has to be convinced is me. On this one, I'm convinced. I don't mind sharing because y'all know me, but I need y'all to understand. Y'all got to take that for what it's worth. Channelers know how real it is. You don't channel, guess what? I'm just telling you a story. All right, so what I found was it started showing me these nebulas, and you confirmed that was the name. But nebulas are like baby stars. White people who look at their space telescopes would say, those are new stars being born. There's a truth to that. Those new stars are actually the ones who are dreaming on Earth. So we're seeing, remember I told you, this is, anything you see in that canopy is the projectors from here. So this is all internal. So Crowley talks about it. Oh, well, Kamites, everyone talked about it. Crowley was the last one in the West to talk about it, that every man was a star, and that's kind of where they remember it from, though all mythologies is telling you that you're supposed to become Osiris. Osiris is a star. So, but that's true. You're made of the same stardust. Most star systems are masculine and feminine. Now, I know this for a fact. Me and Khadijah already have a star system, and kind of like Inception, you fill it up with your mind. So when you go, your mind is only left. You're a star. So you get to make whatever adventure that your orbit can take. And you maintain it. You are truly the god of that universe. All the entities that live in there are aspects of your subconscious mind. Whatever system you create is yours. And you enjoy that motherfucker however you do. Comedians got a whole, I guess we call it a galaxy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mathematicians got them. Historians got them. You know what I'm saying? The ones to fuck with though is the pan shit. Nigga, I seen them shits, nigga. That's the music niggas. All the music niggas is pan niggas. And you see what music do down here. So we got the biggest party going. You know what I'm saying? I already did the checking, Rich. You're a pan nigga. Well, you're a music nigga. As we see that keyboard in the back, you're a pan nigga. But I should have really even thought of that from that. But so there are recruiters that come down here to bring niggas back with them. Early on, I used to have visions that when I left, a bunch of niggas was rolling with me. Like I brought a whole new team and I was going to show them. I was trying to tell y'all niggas what it was all about the whole time. Y'all the ones that kind of hung out and stuff. Because I will say this. I've encouraged, or let me even say I've discouraged followers. That shit is of no avail sometimes. Like, you know, I just talked to Shabazz. Shabazz like, oh, you constantly just shit on niggas. Because, you know, our people tend to have this religious goddamn poisoned ass handcuffs on them. So they tend to put anyone who stands before them in that. So, you know, you always have to remind them not to, but god damn, there's motherfuckers that's following me state to state and all this kind of shit. Motherfuckers coming from, I'm like, and I get it. I don't take it with arrogance. I understand it's that message. So it makes sense now when I said when I'm leaving, there's a lot of motherfuckers who's coming. They line themselves up with the message. And if my message is that of my box, they're more than welcome to come. And I found they could come, and it's not like they have to stay or it's a prison. They just learn more. They learn more about what Panic and Khadijah was already talking about down here, just pretty much on the cosmic level, and then they move on. Because ultimately, everyone's a star, and everyone has their own. You get what I'm saying? What I'm talking about is the process of someone being born out of third dimension. There's that they can go into the fifth dimension and they're able to sit and do like Doctor Strange and do parallel universes, because what they're doing there is perfecting their mind. Because when they go out to be their own star, their mind is already developed on a level of perfection by dreaming through Earth, nursery, going through the fifth dimension and letting all of those lives pass before them to understand. Even Brother Rich has millions of possibilities. You just study that. And then you move on. And then with your understanding of your mind, you go and build worlds. angels, you know what I'm saying, as God.
Yo.
So this is a training ground. I came this motherfucker to pick niggas up. Let's go, no teppers. Let's go. Get your ass in gear. Yes, sir, Rich.
Hey, Panic. I was talking to Blue the other day, and I was telling him the story. We was on a live like now, and I was telling the people the story about when I was young. I would dream of this like this monster. And I would look in the mirror. Like when I looked in the mirror, I would see the monster. Like instead of seeing me, I would see the monster. And I always get scared. Wake up, reoccurring dream. Then the monster never harmed me, never did anything to me. Then one day I was like, when I was awake, I was like, yo, I'm gonna face this motherfucker one day, you know what I'm saying? So one day I was sleeping, I said, to the monster. And then the monster just disappeared. It didn't come back. Right. So what I want to ask you is that I understand we're taught to hate monsters at a very young age. We're taught to hate darkness. When the older I got, listen to Bobby, I said, well, maybe that monster was the primordial version of myself or some shit like that. Talk to me about the monster program that we undergo when we're 6, 7, 4, 5 years old, and we're taught to hate a certain figure, and we're taught to hate darkness, brother. Talk about that. And maybe about that dream I had too.
Almost definitely. Two things. I broke that dream down for you before.
You did?
Yes.
You sure?
We were live somewhere too.
Oh,
I remember that dream about the monster.
I must have been on some drugs, man.
No. I just think you may have asked me in a different context.
Okay.
You definitely didn't ask me in this coming from this context. All right, so humanity, we've come to accept it as, you know, look at that sexy bitch with that big old ass right there. Look at them old bouncy titties, and dude got muscles. Oh, you got fat, you got skinny. But to the spirit, all this shit look disgusting. All of this shit is the monster. Your greed, your need to eat, your snots, your pus, all of that shit is monstrous to the other side. So you just came from that other side, and you're actually in a foreign monster right now. So the monster you seen was yourself, which was actually the truth. We just started to accept it as this is what we call beauty and neat and how a face should be. You don't know what it is until your mom keeps saying, you're so cute, you're so cute. I guess I'm fucking cute. You know what I'm saying? Because if your mom just say you're so fucking ugly and you're the monster, I'm a monster. So you don't know what you are. And to the other side, when you first get in the body, you don't know what you are, and we see monsters. Shit, that's not the only reason they don't even let you look, your eyes won't even work as an infant to after a while till you start getting to acclimated to this world. So spiritually now, when you hear about monsters, you're trained in the occult to understand they're talking about that which is old or ancient, not good or evil. Good or evil is not even in the game. You get what I'm saying? Good and evil is made up. And I always have to find myself explaining, like, if I'm on your, so because I know you have a lot of new guys who may not have heard me before. Good and evil, like if you walked up on me and I'm beating up an old lady, you would say, oh shit, that's evil. You know what I'm saying? He's beating up an old lady. What in the fuck? You know, bad black guy. But then if I said, well, she just killed all my kids and drowned my baby, you say, oh, kill her, that's justice. So that same act becomes justice, which was evil. So it's left to perspective, which is another way of saying it's not an absolute, which is another way of saying good and evil is not real. It's a matter of perspective. So in the occult, we get past good and evil. And when you hear things that classically fit into the good and evil role, that's a cue for old and new. Mm-hmm. So the demons, the older gods, the divas, the newer ones. Set, the evil guy, older, not meaner or bad, older. Then Osiris, newer. You get what I'm saying? Because to a Christian, Osiris is the devil. You get what I'm saying? So whatever perspective you in, it could be whatever. All that Hindu shit is the devil, not just Ravana versus Sita and Rama. So it's the older versus the new. That's the general. One of the most interesting things, and I decode this and I talk about it in my book. I don't even want to hold that shit up. In the last chapter, I talk about the Necronomicon. The Necronomicon, H.P. Lovecraft. Actually, am I able to share my screen, Rich?
Yeah. I enabled it.
Give me 1 second. Let me find this first so I can get it up and make it real.
Shout out to everybody in the chat while Panic get that together.
Get this thing going.
Shout out to Sci-Fi, King Simon.
King Simon in the building. King Solomon. All right, where the hell is this Apple? All right, Necronomicon Magic. All right. What? Yeah, word, you silly thing. All right, give me 1 sec. Open this crap up. All right. Let me share this screen. Say, they're nothing more than, just my stories. Then some occultists found out he would get these stories from dreaming. These were Lovecraft's dreams and continuations of these stories and characters. So the cult nigga said, oh, you channeling. He himself, I'm not channeling. He was just this weird recluse guy. Horror as we know it is because of him. Before him, horror was like Dracula, The Mummy, Edgar Allan Poe, anything that had, The Raven. What was that dude? Vincent Price, anything with that motherfucker in it. That was horror. Then you started seeing after Lovecraft type shit or his impact because he made his work public domain so anybody can write about it and anyone has. All of these movies, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Blob, Alien, H.G. or H.R. Gruger. He did some artwork updating the Baphomet and also creating the Species character. And he also, I have the book in here, he created the artwork for Alien. So all the aliens is H.P. Lovecraft. Cabin in the Woods, Pacific Rim, Evil Dead, Phantoms, Mimic, Ghost Ship. Anytime you hear something evil, something ancient, is all Lovecraft work, all about monsters. So Donald Tyson is probably the greatest, not the greatest, probably the guy you want. He's the guy who kind of he takes Lovecraft in the occult and marries it on step one level. You get what I'm saying? There's another book that's out of print, Polaria, Gift of the White Stone. I think it's R.H. or R.P. Mueller, which is really, what's the dude? The dude that used to run the OTO, that was a fake name. But it's out of print anyway. But he goes in on the science of the monster, Lucifer, and all the rest of that shit in there. Another good guy to get is a guy called Constantinos. He did one Nocturnaton. That's pretty good. Lovecraft-esque. Can I get a couple of books real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
All right. Let me get a couple of books real quick.
Yeah, while Panic get those books, man, shout out to Panic. The brother made a magnificent video. We got the 7-day Kundalini retreat coming up with my brother Blue Pill, Billy Carson, Brother Panic, Dr. Phil Valentine. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I want y'all to sign up. Click the link in the chat room. Man, this is the one for the ages, family. This is the one, like the brother Panic said, because of that Beetlegeese energy, the best time to do this inner work. You'll find more people, better people. You'll find exactly what you're looking for inside of you instead of looking outside of you. So it's time we go in, family. What appears to be a problem is actually a solution. So all this quarantine, man, it's the perfect opportunity to go within and put something together good. My brother Panic is back. Go ahead, my brother.
Right. Rich, I heard you, Rich, and the stuff you're saying is right on point. This is the guy to get to, Mog Morton. He does a lot of pre-dynastic writing when Set was running the joint.
Okay.
Bull of Anbos. Set.
What's it called? Let me see that. What's it called?
The Bull of Anbos.
Okay. Okay.
Seth and Egyptian Magic, #2. He did maybe 1 and 2.
Okay.
Mog Morton, MOGGMORGAN. He's excellent at pre-dynastic shit. This is a good book by Donald Tyson, if you can get it. Sexual Alchemy by Donald Tyson. He'll tell you how to have magical intercourse with the spirits. You can fuck your way into any goddamn thing. All you need is your hand. And a hand in this guide, this handy spirit guide. So if you could get this in PDF somewhere, this is a good guide for the mentality of how to start speaking to spirits and use your sexual energy to manipulate this reality. As for was this it? Actually, oh no, but I did get the right one. This is an excellent book. Field Guide to the Creatures That Cannot Rest in Peace. Encyclopedia of the Undead by Bob Coran, author of Vampires, illustrated by Ian Daniels, because they have a whole chapter on H.P. Lovecraft in here that is so to the point, dynamite. It tells you about his life, his impact, because he was nothing more than a channeler. So that I was reading from a chapter in my book. It goes on to say, since he's never said the word Necronomicon. That book was called The Hound. But as he added on more stories, the stories collectively became known as the Cthulhu mythos. Then later someone just said Necronomicon. So they was collectively called the Necronomicon, though there was never a book. They were collective short stories. And they also were public domain. So when it got to the 70s, there was a bookstore owner named Simon. The movie Johnny Depp was in it when he was trying to find that book. What the fuck was this? Somebody's gonna say it. And he was trying to find that book throughout the movie. Very occult, and the angel was saving him in the movie. It was a Necronomicon. They was trying to get all 3 of the books together, and it was getting him to go do it. Not the gate, something Gates. Something Gates. Ninth Gate, the Ninth Gate. I think it was called the Ninth Gate. Hell of a Necronomicon story. You know what I'm saying? The Ninth Gate. That was loosely based on the bookstore owner, because his friend was the bookstore owner, Simon. Simon, who knew was public domain, wrote a book called the Necronomicon, known as Simon's Necronomicon, where he used Sumerian deities. But now Lovecraft really channeled.
The Ninth Gate. They're saying the Ninth Gate. Panic.
Yeah, the Ninth Gate.
Yeah.
Tell them late. Them niggas is so late. I just said it. But tell them I said, thank you. Good job. You guys are all over it, man. No tap. Like yo, let me tell you, Miss Adrian's in the building. As soon as I stepped out there, I felt that fire on the back of that head.
Woo.
Like, so she's coming through with this one hard. I'm telling you that. So Simon's Necronomicon, like I said, he talked about the Sumerian deities, and those were still so powerful he wrote because he released that book in 1977. He now wrote an update book saying what happened in 1977 when he released his book. He's gas shortage, Son of Sam, motherfucking hostages, blackout. This nigga was naming all this shit in 77. And no doubt, me and my sister went to a foster home. And so shit went down because of the Necronomicon. I'm just joking. But he talks about that in Simon's thing. So to get back to Lovecraft 7 and the original understanding, because there have been games, there's a book series called Gurups. There was a Necronomicon Gurups. There's Call of Cthulhu. There was this game, because people have added on to the monsters. But Lovecraft 7 monsters, I break them down to where they exist as the primal forces in your body. Nyarlathotep is the only deity that they can communicate between human and them. It's pineal gland. The drunk blind god who moves to music and does as they will, drunk and blind. That's melanin. Oh, I break all this shit down. And it's, like I said, I have it all in my, so, and because they couldn't hit it on that level, all the scholars who tried to break down Lovecraft, no one's, see, he was channeling, but no real nigga channelers from our era ever came and dealt with that. White channelers are still added to Satan and Lucifer and what they meant in Babylon, how it goes to the practicality of niggas today. Or I break that down and I give it to you in class. And I give it to you now. It's bad. So the monsters is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious, see, in the mythology, Cthulhu came from Saturn. There was running shit here. There was wars. He goes to sleep under the Pacific Ocean. That's why you have the movie Pacific Rim, where the monsters come out to sea. Then you had Idris Elba with his dumb ass yelling, "We become the monsters." I'm like, nigga, no, we are the monsters. You old dumb old nigga. We are. So him saying this kind of grandstanding is actually going against the energy that they're talking about. The monster is your true mind, the return of Osiris. The monster, Cthulhu, in the mythos, Cthulhu goes to sleep and returns, the same goddamn story about your subconscious mind returning, that Lovecraft is having this same goddamn nightmare. The monsters are those, remember we talked about it in the first one, Shakti versus Kundalini. Kundalini is more palatable. So the monsters are less palatable in this realm. Your subconscious mind is an animal. How many times I teach, let's be real. If you're in the store, you see a girl with you're married, you got your wife. I'm married, I got my wife. I love Khadijah to death. I see a girl with a fat butt. You're thinking about what it looked like, bent over, open, and you don't want to say thank you, how you doing, or nothing in here. But if you know you did any of that shit, you're going in there. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But you got to ask, didn't it come? Where is it coming at? Why is it up here? I don't even want to say hi to her. Ding, 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 and keep it moving. Why? Why does that occur? Why does that monstrous thought exist in my head? Or the dude that cut me off. Don't you just want to just grab that? Don't you have visions like just driving through a whole bunch of motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? Then you catch yourself like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm good. I'm human. These are black people. I love them. I'm supposed to love them. Because morality, in the mythology of the Necronomicon, they said while Cthulhu sleeps, humanity rises. When Cthulhu rises, he eats their asses to death. What they're talking about is when your true nature rises, your human morality doesn't mean nothing. You're the god of the universe. And that same girl that you would have bent over, you make her in your own mind. There's no girl out there when you don't have a body. Remember, I told you, you make your world to entertain yourself, whatever. If today the guy Rich decides to wake up and have a Walmart walk and say, oh, look at this, a buttocks. It's no morality where your wife is going, oh, that nigga done cheated on me and he's a no good man. That shit's from here. You can make whatever scenario in your mind go wherever. That's what we doing. And it doesn't offend anything. But if you were in a human body, that's monstrous, what you're talking about. You went against your wife. You dishonored your family. You dishonored this lady. You dishonored Walmart, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? We could go on for how out of order all of this behavior is as a human. And you would be considered a monster. And we would have to jail your ass. You just walking in Walmart, putting it where you want to put it, you got to go. But if this is not offending anyone because it's just you in your mind entertaining yourself in your own realm, could you imagine what you're only limited by the shit that you can think of? God. So that's the difference in when you take what you truly are, just on that little scale. I'm only expanding our mind with what we know from here. Imagine with what we don't know that we could get into. I'm only saying just thinking of what you could get into here in Walmart. Imagine, it's monstrous to a morale. It's monstrous to a human morale. So that's the monster concept that I actually decoded. This is another one, Necronomicon by Donald Tyson, like one of the start off ones. This is a good book too. This is one of them ones that Bobby gave me, but there's a lot of highlights, so it's good. I can't remember. Gateways to the Other World, Secrets Beyond the Final Journey from the Egyptian Underworld to the Gateways in the Sky by Philip Gardner. Philip Gardner is a very good writer, so that's probably, somebody, I went to a funeral, I was reading this perhaps. Let's see who, Barbara Elizabeth Anderson, December 20th, 7 p.m., 2009. That's proof I was conscious in 2009. On this page, Gateways to the Other World. Right, this is a book Bobby gave me. Philip Gardner. This white boy here, Philip Gardner, is one, he sat in front of a lecture once to a bunch of white people and said, hey, white people, did you know black people are talking about Egypt too? They all, what? He said, but get this. They ain't talking about shit we talking about. They talking about a whole different thing. And them motherfuckers was just like this. I can't remember who showed me that shit. Was it Shabazz? It was something. A Jazzo, it was someone, but I always remember that from Philip Gardner. But yeah, that's the size of it. Monsters versus what they're really talking about is the nature of your subconscious mind is a monster. So see, when you hear about Kali, you'll hear like, oh, Kali Ma, oh, beautiful mother in the sky. Oh, Kali who bless us. But then you hear all these stories, they just eat motherfuckers alive. But then in the mythology, the cosmic version of Kali is calm, serene, and is the great mother. But when she gets here, she's attacking the 8 ignorances of humanity. So she's monstrous down here, but yet again up there, quite beautiful. And something, maybe one of them Venus or African Venus ones, Bobby talked about that in detail, where he held up a picture and he showed like in a figure 8, the goddess face here, but her being a monster up top. That was the kind of thing he was talking about at that time.
You know, when I think you, Bobby, and a couple of other people said when the ancestors, when we die, we go to live in our families' bodies.
Right.
So ancestors, like let's say my mother or your mother recently passed away. They go to live in your body, your heart. Is the heart, is that the correct organ?
Well, not, I wouldn't say they move in physically. They're in the DNA. So your DNA is in everything. They're in everything. They're in all your essence. So if you needed the ancestors' help in your hands, they're there. You need it in your feet, they're there. Your mouth, they're there. The sea, they're there. The hair, they're there. They are you. You know what I'm saying? So your heart is symbolic of the love and the kingdom and all the rest of that shit. And I would have to say your heart would have to be open to be able to receive. They're always in you. Just your ability to acknowledge and use is really the key. And so the opening of the heart and all the rest of that stuff is just to receive a bigger abundance of that guidance, that spiritual guidance. But they're everywhere. They always were you. You know what I'm saying? Physical, you know what I'm saying? You know that's it's the same motherfuckers. You, your aunt, your uncle. You know what I'm saying?
So when we spiritually, let's say we spiritually died, for lack of better words, I guess we went to live in another deity's body or DNA of another deity. You get what I'm saying?
So hold on, say it again.
So when we, like they say, what we call birth is the death of a spirit.
Okay.
So just like our ancestors, when they die, they live in our DNA. I guess when we come to this realm, we live in another entity's DNA. It's like a fractal. It keeps repeating itself. What you think?
I see what you're saying. I probably would look at it before you get on that level, because you could go on that shit. That's just another way of saying, like, what was that shit that the Grassi guy was saying? This is a simulation of a simulation of a simulation of a simulation.
Right.
But truthfully, in Kabbalah, they tell you, if you go by that, this was the archetype world, then it fell over, then it copied itself, and then that's it. So it tells you what simulation we're in. But I would say I would look at it more this way, because you go crazy doing that. Because I remember that was one of the things spiritually I was told. And then when I started asking people, they were told the same thing spiritual, not to get too hard in Kabbalah, because each fucking Sifra is another root, another Malkuth and all this shit. You go on forever with that. Just look at the source of where all of this generates from. Your soul is a part of that light. Therefore, that's your golden ticket. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So even if we are in the DNA all the way down, we're in the DNA of something that comes from the source. You know what I'm saying? And all of that's not from the source, because at least in the Bible, it will say, like, I am a jealous God, and they speak and they get this from that what's in you is supposed to be older than that what created this place, they say. From that aspect. So you're really your power piece is your soul.
Yes, sir.
That divine light is your golden ticket to get back to that big pool, which is the source of everything. So wherever this shit started, you got a piece of it.
Right.
And you must be valued because of that piece. That's the idea. The divine spark is what the Gnostics called it. So even if we're sitting in all of that, you go crazy doing that. The idea is you would have to say, can I make it back to that source? You get what I'm saying? That would be what that would be what you would hope for. And you know something, and let me announce it now. So this will make my lazy ass move. There's about 2 hours of missing footage in my last the one the last tape I just put on YouTube. Like I fucked up, but I still have it. So I'm gonna put up 2 hours of missing footage. So I look forward to that. But yeah, I would say the source is that light. Your soul is what this is about. This is about your soul is the sun. So that sun that shines is your soul, and your soul sleeps down here to let this dream do what it does. Because if your soul was up and knows what it knows, this party would be over.
I told you something interesting, Panic, when we talk. I said, yo, you're able to draw so much light from your soul that you have much more energy than a lot of vegans I
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
And the vegans, because we're taught that, the food is what gives us the light, or the physical sun that we see gives us the light. Something you draw from gives you more
Amen.
light.
You've heard it already. Amen. Ra.
Right.
In sun.
In his son, yes.
Once you go to the dark side, you become illuminated. There's a book called, I think it's called Darkness Visible by Simon Buxton. Darkness Visible by Simon Buxton, where he tells, they were studying all these African rituals with darkness and staying. They said after a certain amount of days in the darkness, the pineal starts to open up and you can start to see fluorescent. They said he drops Darkness Visible is the name of the book by Simon Buxton. If not, it's Simon Buxton's book. He made a book about bees, and I think it's called Darkness Visible. I don't want to leave and get it again, but he talks about how this comes online after these go out. You know what I'm saying? Don't know why we bring that up. Don't know why we bring that up. What the fuck is he talking about again? When that starts happening, Rich, that's when I'm going. Like, so I don't even remember what the fuck we was talking about.
Talking about the inner light. You ever seen this book, Panic? Dark
Light.
I
have that. That's by the brother.
Yeah, the black dude. Yeah,
I think I talked to him before. What's his name again?
Edward Bruce Bynum. Edward Bruce
Bynum. Did I talk to him? I don't know. I think I did. But no, I have his book. That shit is on fire. Yeah. That book is fucking fire.
Yeah. Good book.
Yeah, that's some good shit.
We were
Bynum,
saying
yes.
I was saying how you're able to draw from that inner light.
Man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's that hidden sun. Like what could you? I just used to see Bobby do that shit, and it would amaze me. And I think I just felt it, like, I was a nigga who couldn't shut up anyway. So I don't know if I started thinking about the endless shut up ability of it, or just the ego trying to top them niggas. Them niggas doing 8 hours, I'm gonna do 8, whatever it was. But when I started looking up, I don't even notice this shit no more. It's like I'm gone. Like live lectures, 9 hours, 10 hours. There was one time they was trying to fuck with me. This little girl in fucking in Little Rock. You know what I'm saying? Every time I go there, she try to fuck with me. I'll be keeping their asses there to like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Everyone else be sleep. The whole lecture, she'd be like this. And she fuck with me, she just goes like this. Yeah. And then she act like she writing shit down. Yeah. It'd be like just me and her, 5. Yeah, so the science, this. We was like, yo, because in Little Rock, it was their spot. So it was nobody was renting it. It was like it was the people's spot. So we in that motherfucker just chilling with my girl Eleonora, give her a shout out. And that little young girl, I always take a picture. The second time I came, her ass had pen and paper like that. And then I did it in Florida. I was testing them niggas. It was like 5 a.m. And we talking about I start at 2. Now we taking breaks. They fucked up in Florida. They gave me it was like 3 a.m. They thought it was over. They gave me a chair. What the fuck did they do that for? Whoo, that shit was like a new lecture. I kept them niggas there. It was like 4:15, some shit like that. Man. The only reason I stopped was because Khadijah had to drive. We was down in Florida. We had to go back to Orlando where we were. But shit, man. Oh, hell yeah. It's like the next day sometimes I used to feel angsty. Like, you know what I mean? Then I got my shit right here somewhere. It's up here. That Kava nigga. Woo. Bobby told me about that Kava shit. It's like, here it is. I got this shit. This is the good shit. The kava. I got this shit in Phoenix, nigga, with the, I needed that shit to rise out the ashes. Like anxiety, like after I talk for long periods of time, that's actually what you feel anxious like, because you pull so much spirits and you trying to calm down. That's a lot. Actually, that's really the side effect of this shit. Think about this. After we say, all right, then, what you think? I'm just going to like, all right, then, and just go to bed. Nigga, this is this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second.
That's facts.
Yeah, it take a while for Khadijah. Like, we have to get in front of the TV and just veg out, like, after classes. Because my classes is 10 hours. I'm documented. Like, we start at 2, and when I ended at 12 at one time, 1:30. Yo, I go into a meditation. I promise you, I'll be laid back on the couch, gone, still doing class. And I just look up after an hour, motherfuckers is there like, all that shit documented. So it's zoned out. I've been stopped doing this with this. I've been in deep channel, lecture in deep channel. I'm zoned out. I don't remember the shit I'm saying. I don't remember what we started with just now. Today we're somewhere else. But Khadijah also now, she's starting to know that she has to de-guise. You call a lot of spiritual energy. We not call this kava shit though. This shit is very good for anxiety. And it helps, it kind of helps get you back to thinking, because you got to do normal shit. You be all fucked after all of this. You be all fucked. You walk out the room. You want to get some pizza. You be like, you just be somewhere else. Yeah. But that's probably, I would say, the side effect of it. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten better at that with the last live lectures. Usually I'll be like out of it, and I was like up, ready to go. We was hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with Nashville and New Orleans last time. So the inner light is getting stronger in it. And I think it was getting stronger lately because of that Beetlejuice energy was coming down. So if you're, I'm always looking to receive some shit. That was Bobby's whole flagship thing. Breakthroughs, man. Look for breakthroughs. So you never satisfy yourself with what you know. You know what I'm saying? I may contradict the shit in the same in a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Good. You know what I'm saying? This shit is supposed to break down. It's supposed to break down where none of this is supposed to make sense anymore, because when it stops making sense, that means your true mind is coming back. You get what I'm saying? You shouldn't